Okay, so like I just established, yesterday we talked about how relationships will come together and come apart. And we went through all those steps and we talked about how relational maintenance is the most important thing. But today, I really want to focus on friendships specifically. So that's what we're going to get into in today's notes. So we're going to talk about these 6 stages of friendship, and who better to help explain our points than SpongeBob and Patrick. Mr. Smith, I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob growing up. I understand, happened to my wife, happens to many people. Here's the thing. SpongeBob has a best friend. His name is Patrick. He's a starfish. They're really good friends. It's great. That's all you really need to know. Other than that, let's look at the pictures to help us understand how this works. So first, we have the stage one of the 6 stages of friendship is the role-limited interaction. Now, what that's referring to is the idea that two people, when they first meet, they don't really share a lot of information with each other. They're kind of like, they keep it kind of guarded. This is the first time that Xavier and I have met each other face to face, so we're probably not going to share like, Xavier, when was the last time you cried? Like, he probably isn't going to tell me that like right off the bat, right? Because we're still kind of in that like level where it's like we still need to kind of get to know each other. So therefore, role limited interaction is when you're first just introducing yourself to that person and you don't really know what you're going to share or what you're going to do or what you're going to say. So you can just kind of stick around and just see what's going to happen. Then from there, where's my arrows? There we go. We move into friendly relations. So friendly relations is when the small talk starts and you decide if you want to be friends or not. The topics include interests, hobbies, experiences, and the like. Reciprocation is also required for the stage. What that means is that the other person has to be willing to give as well. So if I'm like super friendly with like Pablo and like I'm asking him about soccer and all that stuff, but he's just not responding, there really isn't anything that I can do until he decides he wants to respond back. Then from there, we can move into the stage two, the friendly relations. And even then, you're still not considered friends because step three is moving towards friendship. Moving towards friendship is when people start to spend time together voluntarily. Okay, so you're thinking about it like, oh, I choose to hang out with this person. And they also look to expand their friendship. This is shown by an increase in depth and breadth of information. So on Tuesday, when we talked about the social penetration theory and how we have 4 layers, we have the superficial, the intimate, the personal, and the core. This is when you start to get into the intimate stuff and maybe even a little bit of personal stuff because you're showing more of yourself with that person and you're talking about a lot of other things. Maybe you met each other on the basketball team, but now you're talking about video games and you're talking about fashion, you're talking about music and all that stuff. So as you get closer to that person, you're talking about more and more things. All right, next one is the nascent friendship. So the word nascent is not one that most people even use, but you only really need to know it just because it's step 4 in this. So nascent friendship is when interaction between the two people become regularized and the standards and stereotypes are eliminated. It starts to develop boundaries based on the two individuals, and it can be different from other friendships the two may be involved with. So this is essentially what happens when you decide that you're not like just friendly, you want to actually start being friends with this person. Like they're not just another person that you like talk to or you text sometimes. This is like, a member of the squad, if you will, or like or your team or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So when you move into the nascent friendship, that person is really is getting closer to you. Then from there, we move into the final step, and it's not really the final step, but it's the final strongest step, if that makes sense. This is where your best friends fall. This is where your ride or dies fall. This is the stabilized friendship. So you can see in the picture, SpongeBob and Patrick are wearing best friend shirts. Both parties depend on the friendship, and the two people count on each other automatically. There's trust, sharing of intimate information, and expectations of a prolonged friendship. These are the people that you don't really think about, like you're not going to be like, well, I mean, I'm friends with him now, but like after I graduate high school, are we going to be close? Hard to say. But like in the case of this, a stabilized friendship, you're not even thinking about what's going to happen when the friendship ends because in your head, it's not going to end. You're going to be friends forever. The summer camp feeling, if you will. Okay. But we do know that that's not the final step in the equation. That is the waning friendship. This is where the friendship starts to slow down and something comes between the friends that makes it harder to maintain. So I just really like that episode, the Fry Cook Games. It's really good. Obviously, SpongeBob and Patrick aren't not friends anymore because the show couldn't exist if that was the case. But hopefully this really helped explain the 6 stages of friendship. Now, is this an official communication model like the Knapp model is? No, it's not. This was actually adapted from communication teachers and professors to kind of help better explain friendship, because we know that the other one that we looked at, the actual Knapp model, it's a little extra whenever we're talking about just friends. Okay, so they are different, but they're kind of similar, and that's kind of going to be the nature of our next major assignment. But I hope that explained it, and that's going to be the end of our notes for interpersonal communication.